Hey y'all, and welcome to Monner's Market, and welcome to my high-end trash to treasure video. This is round 2 of me digging in the trash. Let's get into DIY number 1. So for DIY number 1, I'm going to make this gorgeous tray, but there's going to be some twists and turns to this. These are some beautiful things that Weather Wash sent me. Their walnut stain, their best white chalk paint, and of course their polyurethane. I am obsessed with Weather Wash. You guys know that. So this piece of wood right here, I threw in the trash because, see the stuff at the bottom down there? It kind of goes all around it. It had a bunch of nasty scratches on it, and I just thought it was going to be a piece of junk if I used it for anything, because I couldn't stain it because everything's going to show through, all the scratches or whatever. So I decided to make this sort of abstract contemporary stripe pattern, because I'm not about anything that's abstract contemporary, but I thought, why not just try it and see if you like it? Well, I guess because my mind doesn't go there, I just couldn't make anything work. Like, I thought this would be the cutest little pattern, and see how bad those scratches are showing up? That is exactly why right there I wanted to trash this, and I did trash it. And then the more I thought about it, the more I thought, even if I cut it off and make it smaller and use it for something, like there's got to be something I can make with that big old piece of wood. Like, I just can't throw anything away. So anyway, I also thought about using the bottom which is this piece right here, as my top, because there wasn't that many like nicks and dings and things like that to make it as ugly as the top. But I wasn't thinking and had the stripes put on there before I was like, oh man, I did the wrong side or whatever. But anyway, what I should have done is used Mod Podge to cover my stripes, because that will seal in for your paint. Let me see, how am I trying to say this? If you put your stuff down like that right there, put your tape down, then Mod Podge over it, you should not have any leaks or runs once you put your paint on top of it. Well, I forgot that. I do it all the time, and I simply forgot to do that step. So in my head, I thought if I took my heat gun and put it on the tape where it would sort of melt into that tray a little bit, that it would make my lines a little more crisp and clean and forego the Mod Podge that I forgot about. Well, that didn't work. This didn't work because it just turned out ugly, in my opinion of what I like. This stripe happened to be bigger than the other stripe. It was a hot mess, y'all. It was a hot mess. But I didn't actually get the idea to finish it like I finished it until several days later. I finished it, which you're going to see here in just a few minutes, and actually recorded the whole reveal and all of that good stuff. And I sat there for about 3 or 4 days, and I just kept looking at this ugly tray going, man, I cannot put that in one of my videos. Actually, I made it for last week's video, believe it or not. And I was like, I am not putting that in that video. That is just too ugly. I don't like it. So anyway, I decided to put it in this week's video. But like, how? Why? What can I do differently to it? Because it's just so stinking ugly. Well, anyway, this is me just going through trying to make my stripes, and then look at all this mess right here in the corners. So now I'm trying to go back through, take my tape and put it to where I can see that little corner right there. I can stain that little corner without getting it all over my paint. Well, the thing about stain is you can use all the Mod Podge you want. It's going to run up under something because it's so stinking thin, right? It's hard to have stain that doesn't run. If you guys know of any trick out there to where your stain doesn't run under your tape, please let me know. So you can see right there where that stripe is a little bit bigger than the one on the left. But at the time I was doing it, I was determined to put this in my video, and I just had to finish it. I had to do something to finish it. Well, then I remembered these little pieces of wood, this little ornamental piece of wood that I got from, where did I get it? I want to say it was from Lowe's. And it's so cute. You'll see it in just a minute. This is me just trying to go back through and cover up all that nastiness that I just could not get that little X right. Nothing I done was making it right. But there they are. Isn't that cute? I will list these things below that I'm using today. Even the board that I'm using, because that actually came in a 10-foot piece that I had cut down to do several trays for different people. And I thought, wow, if I could put this on there, that would be pretty, right? It would make it kind of dainty and cute, rustic, farmhouse, whatever. It just made it more ugly. Even though that's a really pretty piece, and once I painted it, I thought it was super cute. I did the antique wax and covered it, and then I took a like a distressed coat of the white Waverly chalk paint and sort of distressed it to bring out that real pretty ornamental detail in it. Look at that, how it just came to life right there. And now these I got from Lowe's. Love, love, love these. These are what I bought for my planter box that I did last week. And again, it's the same wood that I'm using here, so it's the screws on it's a little bit too long. I don't have the proper bit to cut that off. I have ordered one, so hopefully it'll be here soon. And then I can start using those other feet because they are my favorite. I love them. You get 2 in a pack. I want to say for $3 something. I don't know. I'll have it listed below. Anyway, Weather Wash sent me this white chalk paint recently, guys. I didn't even ask for it. Like with Weather Wash, if you're an ambassador, you can ask them for things and they're happy to send it to you to use in your video. But I got this as a surprise, and I love it. It's my absolute new favorite white chalk paint ever, ever, ever. I'm obsessed with it. It goes on so smooth and so creamy and so silky, and it dries with this matte beauty, and it's just gorgeous. So now I'm going to take that little ornamental piece and put it at the top. Well, see, now I'm going to put polyurethane all over it. And I'm not going to show you me polyurethane in the whole thing because that'll take forever, and you've seen people do it. You can use polyurethane, you can use Mod Podge, you can use whatever sealer that you want to use, but make sure you seal your paint and your stain in because it's gonna last you a whole lot longer. So after I did that, now I've got my little handles that I wanted to put on it so it could easily be picked up and moved. And if you had things displayed on it, you had the handles to pick it up with or whatever, make it more sturdy, make it cuter, add more depth and dimension and detail and all those fancy words that crafters use. So once I got that done, I was finished with it. So I thought, and well, no, I think I still have to add my feet on. Have I added my feet yet? Yeah, I did add my feet. And this is what I was going to bring you last week. The only thing pretty about this thing are the feet, the handles, and that little ornamental piece. The wood itself, the board, was a total flop. I mean, you got to admit that's ugly. Now, if you like that sort of contemporary stripes and all that good stuff, you may be a little interested in this if it weren't for all those cracks and dings and stuff in the wood. You might even like this, but it ain't me. It's not my style, and I didn't like it. So after a few days, I thought, you know what? I'll never, ever get that wood piece off because I use that wood glue. But I got to thinking about it, and I remembered only using like 3 little tiny drops to put it on there because I just knew I wasn't happy with it. So I heated it and heated it and heated it. It didn't look like I heated it as long as I did to try to loosen up that glue, and I was able to pop it off with a little screwdriver. And then I took my little handles off and put them to the side because I knew I wanted to put them back on my tray when I was done. So then I just sanded everything down where the glue was and different things like that and came back in with my white Waverly chalk paint. I don't know what I was thinking. I was so mad at myself after I got it done because I used originally that Weather Wash white paint. And that's exactly what I should have used this time. Because look at how much brighter that Weather Wash paint is. It took 2 coats just to sort of get it to the same like white hue of that weather wash paint. Do you see what I'm talking about? Like I'm trying to say it and I'm not. And that streak right there is actually a shadow from my pole. It looks like a big brown streak on the table, but it's not. It's just a shadow from the pole that my camera is on. And look at this, y'all. This is from Prima Redesign, and I fell in love with it. All the instructions are on the back. Now, it tells you to use a certain type of glue or gel, I think is what they called it. I don't remember what it's called, but again, all this is going to be listed in my description box. But Mod Podge does the same job. There are several different things that you can use and different mediums that you can use to place this down, as long as it has a glue type texture. And this is actually their tissue paper. And I love this print. I got it off of Amazon for the third time. Everything's going to be in the description box below if you love it and you're interested in it. Now I'm going to go in with my matte Mod Podge, and I'm going to give it a good healthy coat on the bottom. I'm going to place that tissue paper on the top of it. And I tried to go to where, I think it said Seed Store, if I remember right, was sort of the focal point of the tray. Yeah, Seed Store. And I wanted that to sort of be my middle of the tray. And look at that gorgeous, gorgeous, shabby chic, French country, romantic. Like, I just am in love with this print. I actually bought 2 of them. I loved it so much. And you'll see next week what I did with some of the leftover pieces of this. I'll be using it again next week in a couple of little things. But anyway, after you get it on there, make sure you seal it in with the, whatever medium you're using to glue it down to your tray. Make sure you cover it on the top with it. Now, even though I cut it as close to the wood as I can, it still had a little tiny bit left over now. But once it dries, once that Mod Podge dries, that tissue paper turns hard. And it is so easy to sand down and sand off and make that corner beautiful, like it was made that way. And look at my tray now. I forgot to show you me adding my handles back, but I did add my handles back. Look at the difference now, y'all. Is that not the most beautiful French country, romantic country, whatever you want to call it? I think it is gorgeous. And now I'm happy with the tray. And now I'm happy to bring it to you and show you what a piece of scrap wood that I dug out of the garbage can be turned into. So this to me is definitely a trash to treasure DIY. Let me know down in the comments what you think about my tray. Let's get into DIY number 2 after I finish showing you this tray. But I also want to know which was your favorite. Was it this or the stripes? Now for DIY number 2, I don't know if you guys remember, last week I put on my social media where I was riding down the road and I seen this, somebody had thrown this in the garbage. It was on the side of the road waiting for the garbage people to come pick it up. And I stopped and I took the little globes off of it. Look here, if you're going to throw it away, don't complain because I come stole your globes, because it's going to go in the trash anyway, right? So I put it on my social media, and I had a sweet friend named Charlotte that's one of my amazing subscribers. She's so loyal to me, and I just love her to death. Sent me a picture. She said, look at this. She said, somebody did this with some of those globes. And I'm going to show you that picture in just a few minutes. But when I seen it, honey, I fell in love with it because it was 1000% me. It's my vibe. It's my whole, look at that. There it is. Thank you, Charlotte. Isn't that beautiful? And I thought I can get really, really close to that. Now, these were half frosted, half not. One in the picture was 100% frosted. But to match my decor, I wanted to go ahead and paint it white. So again, I forgot about that daggum weather wash paint. I'm sorry, weather wash. But I painted it in the white chalk paint. Either one will work, honestly. And I'm not being sponsored by Weather Wash today. It just happens to be something that they sent me that I wanted to put out there because they did it out of the kindness of their heart. And I'm so thankful for that. They are an amazing, wonderful company. They are listed in my description box. Now, this is different pieces that I pulled out from my stash to try to make it look like the picture she sent me, and I got really, really close to what she sent me. But it took some time going through these things, and I tried, okay, what does this look like together? What does that look like together? Should I flip it this way? Should I flip it that way? And I kept going back to her picture, and I was like, well, that's close, but no, no tomato, as they say, not exact. And I didn't get it exact, but I did get it pretty doggone close. And I'll show you the comparison when I'm done. So I started building my little handles for my bell. And once I got them built to my satisfaction to match as close as I could to my inspiration piece that Charlotte sent me, I went ahead and started gluing them together. And once I got them glued together, I took my Waverly's antique wax and I stained them. And it just, I just love this. If you want to know what my particular vibe is and what I like, these are it. That first, like this whole video is so me, so Brenda, and it matches my whole house, and I just absolutely love it. Also, let me know, what is this called? Like, I call it French country, shabby chic, rustic farmhouse. Like, that's sort of the words that I would describe what my whole house is from one end to the other. But what do you call this? What do you call that first DIY and then two that I'm going to show you now? Like, what is the proper term for it? I have no true idea what it's called. But anyway, I went on and I got everything stained until it was absolutely gorgeous. And then I started assembling my little bell. And I went to the Dollar Tree. I know somewhere in my stash I have plenty of the nautical rope. But my husband is just about finished with my new shop. It is huge, guys. It is twice the size of the shop I'm moving out of. And I have everything packed up in these big, huge buckets. And I was just too daggum lazy to go out there and dig for hours when I could just run up the street here and take 5 minutes to run up to my Dollar Tree and grab another thing of nautical rope, right? So I painted all my pieces, and then I got out my nautical rope to start building my bell. So I make my little handles and I get them glued on, and look at how pretty that wood is turning out. That antique wax is amazing to me. I could have also used the walnut stain that Weather Wash sent me on those too. Now look at the detail on these globes. I thought it would be kind of neat and match my decor if I just took a little hand sander and roughed it up and brought out all that detail in those globes. And I love it that way. Now you might say leave it painted fine without the distressing, because we've all agreed some people like the distressing, some people don't. I love it. So that's why I done mine like that. But if you don't like it like that, then paint yours whatever color you want it and just leave it. We all have different taste. So now I'm building my little clapper for my bell. And yes, that is what the little thing that goes in the bottom, that when you swing it and it ding, 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 that is called a clapper. I had to look that up because I didn't know that. So anyway, I made my little clapper for my bell, and I just glued it right in the middle. And with that, the only thing I had left to do was put some of the nautical rope on the top to tie them together, because like you saw in my inspiration piece, there were two bells that were tied together. And what I love about these bells is that it's perfect for all year long. You can use it for Christmas, which would be stunning. You can use it for everyday decor. You could use it in the fall. Like, it's just something that you can use all year long. So now I'm taking the nautical rope and I'm putting about a 12-inch piece of rope down and gluing it to the very top. I did cut it to where it was super duper smooth and even at the bottom so that it would glue fairly easily onto the top handle of my bell. And then I took and I cut the piece where they were both, I would say probably about 12 inches. And then I grabbed them together and tied them together. And you don't have to tie them together. You can have them individual. But once I got them tied together, then I frayed the ends of it out, just like started pulling that nautical rope apart, just because, I don't know, it just looked kind of cute like that to me. And then they were done, and look at that. I cannot wait to hear what you think about my bells. I am in love with them, and I'm just obsessed with the way they turned out. So I just want to say one more time, thank you, Charlotte, for sending me that picture. Now let me show you what my inspiration was and what mine turned out like. As you can see, mine is on the left and theirs is on the right, but look how close those are. I just love the way they turned out. Now let's get into DIY number 3 and let me show you what I did with my third bell. For the third globe, I made a third bell, but not one that was hung or, that you could hang. Just one that you could just put in your hand and ring. And let me tell you something, these bells really ring. When I got them finished and I shook them, it rang just as pretty as any bell you'd ever buy in a store. So I was really kind of proud of that. But now this is one of the finials that you've seen a million times on my channel that I get from Woodpecker Crafts. I just used it and I stained it with my antique wax, as you see, and I made the handle with just one piece, which was super simple. But for the kind of handle that you would pick up and shake a bell with, this was perfect. And I was scared if I pieced one together to match the other ones, when somebody picked it up, because I have 20 grandkids, if somebody would pick it up to like shake it to ring it, I was scared the pieces may fall apart, even though I'm using my wood glue. So anyway, I'm going to do this just like I did the first one. I'm going to give it 2 coats of that white Waverly chalk paint and let it dry in between both coats. That's actually key. When you're using chalk paints, don't be in a hurry. I'm a fine one to talk because I have zero patience. When I have something in my mind, I want to get it done, and I want to get it done right then. And I'm bad about taking my heat gun and drying it in between. But what happens is you're drying the top layer. You're not drying what's underneath. And when you put that wet paint on there, you end up just pulling your paint back up. And I get mad at myself for doing that all the time. But anyway, I take my little hand sander and I go around and I scuff and bump it up, bringing out all that beautiful detail in that globe, which was trash on the side of the road and was free to me. Everything that I have in this video, the only thing that I had to go out and buy was a nautical rope. And technically, I have probably 10 things of that outside somewhere. So I didn't have to go buy the nautical rope, but it saved me time from having to go out there and dig in all those boxes that I've got boxed up. So now I'm putting my little clapper in there, gluing it right smack to the middle. And with that, this is done. And look at how cute this one turned out. Oh my God, I can't take it. I love it so much. Is that not the cutest stinking bell? You know what I wish I'd have done is picked it up and shook it a few times to let you hear how it rings. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make a reel for my TikTok and my Instagram of me picking it up and shaking it. I'm going to do that in the next couple days, so watch for that. Now let me show you my final reveal. Look at how gorgeous all of this stuff is together. Isn't that just stunning? I think stunning is the best word to use for this little tray here and those bells, because it's so me. It is so me. It is my taste. It's my vibe, or whatever they call it. It's my style. It's what my whole house is decorated in. And I think that looks so gorgeous and so shabby chic and so rustic and all of those verbs that we used earlier. I just love it. Love it. Look at that, y'all. Let me know down in the comments below what you think. Which was your favorite? 1, 2, or 3? I love asking that, because a lot of times I'm shocked. Like, my least favorite thing sometimes is your favorite thing. So I love hearing your input. And thank you to everyone who's been commenting and liking my videos. That helps shoot me up there so much. You just have no idea what a simple like or a simple looks good or love it, some little short something helps my channel. If for some reason this is the first thing you've ever seen of mine, welcome to Monner's Market. My name's Brenda, but my sweet grandbabies call me Monner. That's my grandma name. I have a video that comes out every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I always do a premiere where I can talk with you in the live chat, so come and join us in that. We have an amazing, wonderful group of people there, and I love